Good morning, Cherub.
Good morning, Heather.
Hello and welcome back to the Cherub Chats podcast. I'm your host, Garden Angel and Big Sis, Heather Michelle, and welcome to episode number 3 in the glow up season. How is everyone doing? I'm getting over my little cold. I unfortunately was not able to film on track because I was sick and my voice was just not it. I'm filming this the day before it's supposed to go up. So part of me is panicking, and I don't know how I did this in the entire last season. There were days that I would literally film the morning that the episode was going to go live, and I would edit it super quick, but not anymore. I try to film them 1 to 2 weeks ahead. So fingers crossed everything goes well. Mercury retrograde, you better not fuck this up for me. Okay? Thank you. Today's bevy of choice is a little honey almond milk matcha. Delish. Oh, and on that note, I mentioned this on YouTube, but I am going to be uploading 3 out of 4 weeks a month just for my mental health because I don't want to burn out. Towards the end of season 1, I was starting to get a little anxious, and I don't ever want to make this feel like a chore, and I don't ever want to dread recording because I know, one, it helps you guys, it helps me, it's therapy for me, and I don't want to have any sort of resentment towards it, especially because realistically speaking, I'm not making money. I make sense. I literally don't make money off of this, so I don't want to be stressing about it. It should still feel like a hobby, it should still feel fun, and I think I just need that, especially because I do have other things going on that do make money. So I know you guys are going to get it. You guys are going to understand. And I want to make it a scheduled break. So that way I don't feel like I'm being inconsistent, because that's one thing I conquered last year, which was being consistent. And I just want it to be known that it's an intentional break every month, 3 out of 4 weeks. That's both here and that's both on my YouTube channel, because those are more time consuming platforms that realistically mom's not getting paid for. And as much as I'm here for the dream and the chase and the thrill and it's we got bills to pay. Let's prioritize what's gonna pay the bills first, and then we can have fun and we can do all the extracurriculars. Anyways, today we are going to be talking about how to actually rewrite your self-concept. Last week we touched on why you should, and you should stop lying to yourself and telling yourself these stories that have been told to you time and time again by people who maybe love you, maybe don't, but a lot of the times they were just projecting. So I think it's very important to realize that as fun as it is to go get the new workout set and go start adding in these little hobbies or these habits, you need to understand that if you don't rewrite your self-concept and you don't truly break that all down and do the inner work, all of that is going to go to shit. Because at the end of the day, all of the topical, fun, self-help culture that you see on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, it's all going to go to shit if you don't first start inside. It sounds super cliche, but here's why. Because if I identify as a flaky person, I can try to do an aesthetic calendar and check off every day that I'm consistent, but my baseline is always going to be that flaky person because that's what I'm telling myself that I am. So it is important to take this step, rewrite the narrative and rewrite your self-concept so that your baseline is this new person. There's no reverting to anything else because you are not that anymore. Another important thing to realize is that when you shift this paradigm, when you shift these personality traits, or you just start shifting the narrative, it's not just one, because a lot of the times these traits all go together and they're really connected in some deeper way that we won't just understand in one podcast episode. It's going to take a lot of time with yourself, being alone, not listening to a podcast, not watching YouTube, not numbing yourself out with TV or food or drinking or romantic relationships. It's going to take a lot of work by yourself. And I think everyone works on themselves differently. For me, it's a lot of thinking. I like to be thinking while I walk or whatever. I don't know what that looks like for you. It could be therapy. It could be fucking working with animals. I don't know. And that's for you to decide. But a lot of these are really interlinked. So going back to last week, I mentioned that a new narrative that I was starting to tell myself is that I'm an awkward person. I'm shy. I'm not good at socializing. I have social anxiety. I get really nervous in public. And I realized that the reason I had that narrative is because I was scared of rejection. I was scared of being bubbly and social and putting myself out there and then getting boom, 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 closed door in my face, closed door in my face, closed door in my face. I had this fear of rejection. And you have to kind of dig a little deeper. Okay, why are you scared of girls not liking you? Why are you scared of putting yourself out there and having people not really be into hanging out with you? And I realized that it was coming from my abandonment issues. Not only had I been abandoned by my blood dad, my paternal dad, my, what is it called? Fucking DNA dad? I don't know. The dad that donated the DNA. I was abandoned by him. My mom went through a plethora of men who were supposed to be my new father figure who also left the picture. And then at the end of the day, I had my own mother who also abandoned me. And there were time and time again where I would find people that I thought I liked and who I thought liked me, and it felt like I was being abandoned and rejected. And it just felt like that wound was getting opened and opened and opened and opened. And it took me literally last episode being like, why are you so scared of abandonment? Like, as a rational human being, as an adult, you have come to realize that it doesn't speak about you. People are allowed to not want an extra person in their life, or they're allowed to not like you. That doesn't mean you're bad. That doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that you guys are not aligned. In the same way that I would hate if some external force forced me to be in my mom's life, because I've realized that I much love, respect, gratitude to that person, but I'm no longer aligned and I do not want that woman in my life under any circumstances. So I am not aligned with her. That doesn't make me evil. That doesn't make me a victim, and that doesn't make her evil. Are there things that have happened that hurt me? Yes. We're just on two different playing fields now. Our stories are no longer crossing, and that's fine. And it's fine, and it's only better for me because now I'm thinning through the weeds of who is meant for me and who is not. And I don't want anyone who feels 50% about me to stick in my life, right? I don't love acquaintances. I know in this business like that, it's a lot of acquaintances. I don't love acquaintances. I'm like, I really want friends. I really do. So in order for me to shift that perspective of myself as a social butterfly, I have to drop the fear of abandonment. I have to drop the fear of rejection. I have to rationalize in my head, it's okay. And for you, that could be a million different things. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what the rationale is for you, but you need to like kind of conquer your own fear and do the inner work of realizing your fears of XYZ or the wound that stemmed from your childhood or this traumatic experience. Like, as much as that trauma is valid, it's no longer relevant. And I know like our own bodies do this to protect ourselves from repeating those cycles, but you can't forever hold everyone else accountable for actions that they haven't even done. You can see how multiple experiences, multiple different like stories I was telling myself kind of go together. And so I had to break them down all individually to fully get to the point where I can call myself a social butterfly and lose those fears and drop all that baggage, right? And when we rationalize and add some logic to those original fears, it doesn't mean it's less scary. It's still fucking scary to go up to a cute girl and be like, hey, and then she could either think I'm a fucking loser, or she could be like, oh my gosh, she's so cute, let's be friends. Start racking up these experiences under this new identity, this new personality. It's going to become more and more of a muscle that you get to flex every time. And I say that like when I go to events, I'm flexing my social butterfly muscle. I'm still scared driving. I'm still shaking. But with each experience, I'm becoming more and more brave. And, every experience is a little up and a little down. So sometimes I feel really confident. Sometimes I'm scared shitless. But it doesn't mean I can stop when I'm going through a dip of progress. It just means I need to keep going because I'm not there yet. Another great way to rewrite the narrative about yourself is to do affirmations. I feel like at this point, affirmations and manifestation is really mainstream. But one method that I learned recently is like the chakra method. I don't know exactly the specific name, but you basically go through each chakra and affirm yourself in a way that aligns with that chakra. So like your head chakra is about knowledge and your root chakra is about stability. So you then affirm yourself with language that coincides with that chakra. So I know, I see, I speak, I love, I do, I feel, and I am. And you can say I'm a social butterfly all day long, every day, but that completely disconnects you from the feeling and what eventually turns into reality of being a social butterfly. I'm a social butterfly. Okay, what does that look like? What do I see when I'm being a social butterfly? How do I speak when I'm a social butterfly? How does my heart feel? What do I love doing when I'm a social butterfly? What do I do? What do I feel? And then I can get to the I am. Because after you've said all those affirmations, your body just starts feeling like butterflies. And you just get so excited about these goals or this person you're trying to become. And then you truly believe, okay, I am a social butterfly. You got to figure it out on your own. You got to find your own little sauce. Whatever makes you feel good and whatever makes you feel like this identity is aligned is what's going to work for you. But it's not just about saying the words I feel, I love, I speak. It's like, close your eyes, travel through time, and literally see the highest version of yourself and start like getting into the feelings. Like what do you hear? What do you feel? What do you speak? Okay? You got this. And I would say like do this before bed is the best time to get into those. I was getting in a bad habit recently of listening to murder podcasts before bed, which actually would go then seeping into my dreams, and I would have really scary dreams about like violence and stuff. More recently, after this little MLM approach at the grocery store, I actually started like deep diving into the MLM scams and watching like that type of content before bed. And then I would have dreams about the anxiety of like, oh my God, I have to sell. So that was proof to me that I have to start working on myself right before bed, like affirmations or meditation, or even just visualizing like a good day the next day. Lastly, how you're going to rewrite your identity is going and finding a why. Why are you rewriting your identity? And you're going to put that in the deepest parts of your heart and just keep it there and have it be the pillar that stabilizes you through every action in your day. Whether it's, I don't know what your identity, personality, rewriting goal is, but let's say for me, my example is social butterfly. Let that be the pillar that keeps you strong in every action throughout your day. And I think I've said this before, and I read this in, oh my God. Sorry, I still have a little mucus. I read this in the Atomic Habits book, and it's like every action in your day is a vote of what outcome you want. For my social butterfly, I go to coffee shop, I could either be quiet and look down on my phone and ignore people because it's a little uncomfortable, or I could make conversation with the barista, the receptionist, or the cashier. I could grab a seat and I could go into my phone, or I could put my headphones in and ignore, or I could look up around me, make conversation with the girl sitting next to me, compliment their dog, their outfit, what have you. I could be walking down the street and I could either look down at my shoes or pretend to be checking stuff on my phone, or I could be looking up, smiling at people. And even though I'm not socializing and ultimately getting to my goal of making friends, it is one vote closer, because when I do come into contact with girls my age in similar circumstances as me, and I want to try to become their friend, I have now exercised that social muscle, and I've voted in the way of being a social butterfly. Because why? Ultimately, I want to have a good core group of friends who I build memories with, who I go on trips with, who we support each other, who we build up each other. And I want like a family that's not my family, because obviously you guys know the family situation. And that's my ultimate why. I want to find my family. I think that's why I'm so gung-ho. Although I'm currently in a phase of my life where I feel super content, and like it could just be me, my husband, and my dogs for the rest of my life, and I'd be happy. I'm not at a point where I'm super sad about not having friends like I used to be in Texas or even in high school. I'm content, and I think that's where it's gonna come from. But anyways, long story short, find a why and keep it behind you. Every time you do something, it's like, okay, is it going towards your why, or is it going away from your why? And a few actions here and there that go against your why, it's not going to break it, but I think it's a good thing to keep in the back of your mind. Actually, not in the back of your mind, in the front of your mind at all times. Because that's how you're going to achieve your goal. This week, our cherubs asked a few juicy questions, and here is the first one. Hey bestie, I really need some anonymous help from you and the cherubs. I'll try to make it short. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 5 years and moved out together last year. Money has been a massive problem in our relationship, as he racked up a bunch of debts when he was young and he struggles to pay it back. I've helped out every now and again, and he owes me a few thousand. The last time this happened, we really clashed, as it stresses both of us out, and I can't keep lending him money. After this, I found out 2 weeks ago during an emergency, he stole 200 pounds cash from a money bank I've had since I was a child. He said he couldn't pay it back, and he was scared to tell me, so he was hoping I wouldn't realize before payday. As soon as he admitted it, I broke up with him, but he was insanely apologetic, with both of us sobbing. I do really believe we're soulmates, but I'm not sure if I can get past this. I keep giving him chances, but I'm not sure what to do. Friend, oh my gosh, I am so sorry that happened. That is such an immense lack of integrity on his behalf, and that's just a boundary I feel like most people don't even think to cross. And money is one of those taboo things. It's almost a higher taboo than sex, because a lot of people will have sex with people before they even know their financials, because it's so icky to ask, like, so how much do you make, like what are your finances look like. Totally get it. Very icky and like taboo, right? So I understand having debt, and, you know, it almost brings up this feeling of like inferiority, especially if your partner does have their finances all together. But if you guys are partners, he should be trusting in you. Like if he had an emergency, he should have come to you first and let you make that decision whether you were going to help him or not, which past situations have shown that you were going to probably help him. You're willing to help him. I will say, getting into a long-term relationship with someone whose finances are messed up and they are not able to fix it throughout the span of this time is not promising, because one of the biggest reasons people divorce is money. If you're not on the same path with money, like if you can't find a happy balance with money, you're not going to succeed in marriage. So I think this might just be the wake up call that you needed to get out of that relationship. That is such a, it's so violating. Like, how could he even think to do that? It's good that you got away from it. I would low-key have him pay back all the money. I mean, that's a lot of money to be letting someone borrow and not have them pay back. It's been years. You guys have been together for 5 years, and he's had financial issues for that entire length of time. And it could be a student loan, it could be a car loan, it could be like a massive debt. And I know it's not always going to be so quick to pay, but at least you have like building of habits to help you get out of that. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I think that you are worth someone who can trust you openly and who won't violate you in that way. And I'm happy that you broke up with him. I just really hope that you can stick to your choice and see this through. I'm so sorry, but I think you're better off without him, friend. Okay, let's see what the Cherub said. If he really does love her, he would change his actions towards her. It's not worth being with someone who takes from you all the time. Don't get back with him. He's taking advantage of her money. I agree. Ooh, one Cherub said, give him another chance with the exception that he signed something saying he'll pay back. I don't know about that one. I don't know. Because here's the thing, is it takes a lot of time for people to change their habits. And a lot of the times it's not just a breakup, 2-week break, and then he's changed and he's completely different. He can show that he wants to change, but I personally wouldn't take him back until that has already worked through, and that might take multiple months. He really crossed the line taking the money, even if he was going to pay it back. Move on. I agree. Absolutely not. See full comment in the DMs. All right, let's see. Let's see what the girlie said. This is scarier than you realize as a woman. Debt is something that can break a relationship, especially if you're not open to how you manage or you're going to manage your finances as a couple. When you get married, debt that belongs to both of you and it becomes one. That part. Could you imagine having a 790 credit score with only your monthly debt and getting married and having to take on a 38K in debt because of your partner? You become responsible for what your partner owes. It affects your credit in the long run. Your instinct was to break up with him because you subconsciously know better. Don't second guess that just because he's apologized enough for you to have a little clouded judgment. I love the girls. I just want us to be aware of everything that could happen. Literally, babes. I forgot the fact that your debt consolidates. And like, God forbid someone dies. That's still your debt, baby. The government's going to get their money. Either way. And if both of you die, your kids take on that debt. Imagine change for 5 years. If this person hasn't changed in the past 5 years, what makes you think they're going to change in the next 5 years? Okay, wait. That's a slippery slope fallacy. Let's actually nix that. But is it likely that they will change? I don't think so. So I agree. Stick to your guns. Keep the breakup. And I don't know what the legal ramifications are in Europe. You said euros, so I don't know what part of Europe, but in America, if it's over $1,000, you can actually file a claim and have them pay for it through court. So I would get your money back, girl, because I'm sorry, but first off, no man is going to take advantage of me like that. I wish you lots of love and good luck. I appreciate you. You're always supporting me, and I hope that this advice has helped you in some small way. Talking to this new guy, and he asked what I like to do. I mentioned things that he has to pay for. Examples, admissions to museums, theme parks, baile entrances, concerts. I just didn't want to list bare minimum activities like going to the park and free of charge stuff. Am I wrong for doing such a thing? He seems to like me as much as I like him. I do not think you are wrong at all for that. Sprinkle. But I will say, I'm here for balance. Like, I'm here for, you could take care of 5 dates and then I'll take care of one after that. Or you take care of 5 cute, money costing dates, and then we could do like a little free date. But I will say, if you are the type of person to be dating for marriage, you have to realize that eventually that money that's being paid is going to be your money that's also being paid. So as a woman who's married, it's like, sometimes I'm like, let's not go out to dinner because that's costing me money. And you just kind of have to learn to balance where you're pulling money and where you're saving money and all that. So I would say just have a good balanced mentality. Obviously, someone who wants to do it for you will do it, but you also have to have grace and meet people where they are and also meet people where you are as well. But I think that you do have to be prepared if, let's say, his card declines and it's like, well, now you're shit out of luck because you also can't pay for these things. You know what I'm saying? So just be a little bit understanding and balanced. How to get out of a mental / emotional funk. I think the best way to get out of mental emotional funk is to get out of yourself. A lot of the times when we get anxiety, it's because we're being like so not selfish, but a little too self-aware. Like the world is stopping at our noses when we're that anxious and in a mental funk. And you need to zoom the picture out and realize, oh my gosh, life can be so amazing. Yes, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now that is really depressing and so sad, but something that I luckily can do here in California is like I like to go somewhere in nature, like the beach, a mountain, a hill, something that makes you feel small, and you realize that your problems are so little when you compare it to the immense vastness of the world. A song that I like to listen to when I'm stressed out is Happy by Natasha Bedingfield. The sound of it is happy. What she has to say in it is happy. And it's like talking to me when I have anxiety that's like, okay, this is happening. I still have lungs. I still have air to breathe. I still have sunshine above me. I still have people that love me. And it's like, everything's going to be fine. We're sending you love. You've got this. Being young, what are some tips you would want to have had to know when it comes to finding a job that you're passionate about? I'm paraphrasing because I don't know. Sometimes, no, I do it too. I'm just getting so excited to type and I just type gibber. To be honest, I don't feel like I've ever had a problem finding a job that I was passionate about because Maddie knew who she was from a young age. I always knew I loved clothes, fashion, makeup, hair. And after like the obligatory food industry jobs out of high school and in college, I very quickly found that niche. I worked at a hair salon. I worked at multiple clothing stores. I was a visual merchandiser. I even for a little bit was a stylist with Stitch Fix. I've always kind of done this realm of stuff. And even though it's hard, every job is going to be hard. I enjoyed it a lot of the times, but I think it's just knowing your characteristics at a core. And like we've talked about, you can change certain things about you, but innately you're going to have certain interests, certain things that pique your enjoyment and passion. It could be animals, it could be dogs, it could be helping people, it could be fashion, makeup, it could be math, it could be environment, it could be whatever gets your like juices flowing on your days off. It's like you pick an article and it's about this thing, or you watch a video on YouTube and it's about this thing. That's probably what you're passionate about. And the thing is, not everyone is going to find a job that they're passionate about, and I think it's okay. And I think that in the age of like entrepreneurship and like boss babes and being able to make social media your entire career, people get so caught up in like, you have to love what you do, and it's like you won't ever work a day in your life if you love what you do. But that's wrong. That is wrong, because there are days where I have like deadlines and projects due, and it's like it's a little stressful. I still love what I do. It's still fucking dope and cool, but it's gonna be hard and stressful no matter what. And I think that sometimes your passion can get ruined if you take it on as a job. Not speaking for me personally, but I've heard other people say that like, okay, it kind of took the fun away when I had to do it for the money, when my money started relying on how well I did it. And I mean, even though I still love my job, I can say that like sometimes the metrics of social media and how well content does and how well an outfit performs and the comments and all this, like it does kind of pull a little of the joy, but then I snap out of it. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, you're literally just doing your makeup and clothes and getting paid for it. Like, this is so fun. So all that to say, you don't always have to do what you're passionate about for a job, because it could ultimately maybe take away from your passion, if that makes sense. But on the other hand, it's like, I think you know your passions. If you don't know what you're passionate about, go find what you're passionate about. Go do hobbies, go read books, go look at videos about different subjects. And to find a job in that passion, it might take starting super low on the totem pole just to get some experience and just to get some work in there. But obviously I don't have the perfect way to do it because I have not worked every single passion. I've only had experience with my job and my passion, and I knew what my passion was, and I started getting into it as soon as I could. And that meant starting at Forever 21, and that was fine for me. It's no Valentino, but it paid the bills and it was fun. Explore job options, no pressure, bounce around and see what you're interested in, especially when you're young. That is great advice. Next question. Been with my boyfriend for almost 6 years and I'm still shy around his family. How do I stop? Girly pop, me too. I feel like, this is me with a lot of social experiences, but I always kind of try to think of a few questions leading into the experience or the encounter because I like to just be ready. I think one of my biggest fears when socializing is like the awkward silence. And I think it's okay to have awkward silence and it's okay to be shy. It'll eventually go away. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still a little shy and a little uncomfy, but that goes away in the unplanned, like funny moments. Like if you rip your pants in front of your in-laws, that's going to be funny and it's going to loosen the tension. Or I don't know, little things that you can't plan going on your way in the car, like what are we going to talk about? And I think that's something I need to learn too, is like you can't plan every little thing. You can't perfectly time out and schedule, okay, on this Friday we're going to talk about this and we're going to bond over this, and then the next Thursday we're going to talk about this and we're going to bond over this. It's like relationships and people and chemistry are so like flowing, and you just cannot time it out. And even like me, I've been married for 5 years and I feel like I still kind of feel like I have the customer service voice. Like at the very beginning, I'll walk in, I'll be like, hi, how is everyone doing? And then over time, even within that day, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, the normal voice. But don't sweat it. It's fine. It all happens in its own time. One Cherub said, try doing 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 1 dates with separate members of the family so you can get to know them. That is a great idea. That is so scary, but that is a great idea. I'm pregnant and I keep making fights with my boyfriend. How do I stop my negative thoughts? Girly pop, you do what you want. You're pregnant. I totally anticipate being a little rough around the edges on my pregnancy. From what I hear, the hormones really do it to you. So that's probably where it's coming from. Also, you have to understand you're stressed. And I don't know if this is your first kid, but the added layer of a first baby, it's like, oh my gosh, unexpected. I'm worried. I'm stressed. I'm overly anticipating this thing. It's like, as much as I could say, like, just shift that anxiety into happiness and excitement. It's like, okay, no, it's okay to be anxious. It's a scary thing. And that's probably what it's manifesting as, like, you're stressed and so you're picking a fight with your boyfriend. But I would be really self-aware and realize that's probably where it's coming from. And it's not your boyfriend, I hope. And it's not even you. It's like the stress of this new exciting chapter and the hormones that you can't really help. So it's fine. Think about why you're thinking it. Express your feelings without aggression. That would be a great place to start. How to be more confident with your body shape. I think a lot of people place so much emphasis on how do I be confident in my body? And here's the key, I really think, is pull your focus from your body. I'm more of a body neutral girl, as much as I have these body goals and like I want to be so in shape and like fit and strong and lift this much weight and look great. I obviously want to look strong. I don't think anyone in this world doesn't want to look however they determine in their head to be a good shape. But in your day-to-day, you just cannot be focusing on the shape. You cannot be focusing on your weight or whatever it is. Like, focus on other things. How am I feeling? My energy has been great lately. And even though I'm not looking the way I want, that's a win and I will take it. Or Like, I still look cute in this dress, even though I'm a little fluffier than I was a few months ago. I still look bomb in this dress, and I still love getting dressed, and I still love playing with clothes. So I think pulling away from staring at yourself in the mirror and just like wishing away these little parts of your body, or wishing you had these other parts of your body, like, take the emphasis away from that, and also just like be grateful for what your body can do. Be a little grateful. You know what actually does the trick is being naked in front of the mirror and dancing. Slays. Like, after the gym, the endorphins are flowing, you're showering, music's on loud, maybe it's a little pussycat doll moment, and you're just like, ooh, you know what, I might not look like fucking Bella Hadid or Tammy Hembro, but my body looks cool dancing, and that's cool. So yeah, but I would say when possible, just be neutral about your body. Don't put the focus on your body. You know, it's like the least interesting thing about you. I say that as I fully want to be a muscle mommy, super ripped with fucking biceps of steel. Don't listen to me. Just kidding. Haha. Okay, and that is all the questions that the Cherubs had for us this week. And that is this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to rate and follow the podcast. It really helps us out. I see we have 61 reviews, which is super slay. I cannot believe we have 61 Cherubs that have rated this 5 stars. So let's keep that up. Don't forget to follow the Cherub Chats podcast Instagram so that you can participate in next week's Ask Your Angels, and the Cherub Chats podcast YouTube if you're a visual girly and you want to watch this happen. Anyways, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye. Oh my gosh, I forgot to say the most important part. And don't forget, you are never alone when you're part of the Cherub Club. I love you. Bye.